Alright guys, you need to sit down for this one because what I just witnessed on ESPN was absolutely insane. The New York Giants are in the middle of free agency. They just hired John Harbaugh as their new head coach. They have Jackson Dart as their young franchise quarterback, and everything was supposed to be trending in the right direction. But then Darius Slayton, their veteran wide receiver, went on live television and just completely exploded. He said things about his teammates, his coaches, and the front office that I've never heard a player say before, and I'm still trying to process all of it. Hey, what's up everyone? Before we dive into everything I have for you today, I need to share something real with you that would mean the absolute world to me. That subscribe button right there. Hitting it right now would bring me one step closer to my dream of reaching 1,000 subscribers. I know you're eager to get into all this content, but real quick, just smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It's such a simple thing. It takes literally 1 second, but it's honestly the biggest way you can support this journey and help me reach that milestone. Trust me, every single subscription gets me closer to that goal, and honestly, it would mean everything to me. So do me that quick favor right now and be part of this dream becoming reality. Let me give you some context first. The Giants have been a disaster for the past decade. They've had losing season after losing season. They've wasted draft picks. They've made bad free agent signings. They've been the laughingstock of the NFC East, while the Eagles and Cowboys have improved. And Giants fans have been suffering through all of it, hoping that things would eventually get better. Well, with the hiring of John Harbaugh and the drafting of Jackson Dart, it finally seemed like the organization was turning a corner. Hope was in the air, the vibes were good, until today. The interview started innocently enough. The host asked Darius about the new coaching staff and what he was excited about heading into the 2026 season, and instead of giving a typical positive answer about new beginnings and fresh starts, Darius just paused, looked at the camera, and dropped a bombshell. He said, "You want to know what I'm excited about? I'm excited to finally see if this organization is serious about winning or if they're just going to do what they've always done, talk a big game and then fail to deliver. Because I've been on this team for 6 years now, 6 years. And in that time, I've seen 4 different head coaches, 3 different general managers, and about 100 different schemes. And you know what we have to show for it? Nothing. No playoff wins. No division titles, nothing. Just a bunch of excuses and promises that never came true. So yeah, I'm excited about the new coaching staff, but I'm also skeptical because I've been fooled before, and I'm not going to be fooled again." The host was clearly surprised by the intensity of Darius's answer. He tried to follow up by asking if Darius had confidence in John Harbaugh and his ability to turn the franchise around, and Darius's response was even more surprising. He said, "John Harbaugh is a great coach. He won a Super Bowl at Michigan. He's got a great reputation. But let me ask you something. Does John Harbaugh have the power to fix this organization? Does he have the power to make the front office spend money on good players? Does he have the power to convince ownership to actually invest in winning? Because that's what the Giants have lacked for years. It's not coaching, it's commitment. It's a willingness from ownership and the front office to do whatever it takes to win. And I haven't seen that commitment. I've seen a lot of lip service. I've seen a lot of press conferences where Joe Schoen talks about building something sustainable. But sustainable doesn't mean anything if you never actually win." Then came a question about Jackson Dart and what Darius thought about the young quarterback heading into his second season. And his answer revealed some serious concerns. He said, "Jackson has talent. He's got a good arm. He's mobile. He's a competitor. But talent alone doesn't win games in the NFL. You need players around you. You need weapons. You need an offensive line that can protect you. And right now, Jackson doesn't have any of that. Look at our offensive line. It's a mess. We're talking about bringing back Jermaine Eluemunor, which is great, but one player doesn't fix an entire unit. We have question marks at guard. We have question marks at center. And if we don't fix those issues, Jackson is going to get killed out there. He's going to get sacked 50 times. He's going to develop bad habits from running for his life every play. And then in 3 years, everyone is going to say, Jackson Dart was a bust. But it won't be his fault. It'll be the front office's fault for not giving him the tools to succeed." At this point, the interview was already generating huge reactions on social media, but Darius was just getting started. The next question was about the wide receiver room and what Darius thought about the team's plans to improve at that position, and his answer was brutally honest. He said, "The wide receiver room is thin, really thin. We have Malik Neighbors, who's going to be a star. We have me. And after that, who? We're talking about maybe signing Isaiah Likely at tight end, maybe going after a guard in free agency. But what about receivers? What about giving Jackson multiple weapons to throw to? Because right now, defenses can just double Malik and force Jackson to throw to me or a bunch of guys who shouldn't be starting in the NFL. And that's not a recipe for success. That's a recipe for losing a lot of games. The front office knows this. They know we need receivers. So why aren't we out there pursuing them? Why aren't we making moves? We have one of the lowest dead cap numbers in the league. We have cap space. We have resources. Use them. Stop talking about being smart with your money and actually invest in winning. Then someone asked about Trey Hendrickson, the star pass rusher who reportedly was signing with the Dallas Cowboys. And Darius's response showed just how frustrated he was with the state of the rivalry. Quick pause for a second. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It only takes a second, but it really helps the channel grow and gets us closer to 1,000 subscribers. Your support means a lot. Now let's get right back to the video. He said, Hendrickson is going to Dallas? Of course he is, because Dallas is actually trying to win. Dallas is making moves. Dallas is investing in their defense. And what are we doing? We're sitting here talking about process and patience and all this stuff that doesn't mean anything. The Cowboys are our rival. They're supposed to be the team we're trying to beat, and they're getting better while we're staying the same or getting worse. How is that acceptable? How can anyone in the Giants organization look at what Dallas is doing and feel good about where we're at? Because I don't feel good about it. I feel embarrassed. I feel like we're getting left behind while every other team in the division improves. The host then asked about Joe Schoen and the front office's overall approach to roster construction, and Darius absolutely unloaded. He said, Joe Schoen talks a good game. He's very articulate. He knows all the right things to say in press conferences, but talk doesn't win games. Results win games. And what results has Joe Schoen produced? We haven't made the playoffs since 2022. We haven't won a playoff game in years. We're constantly picking in the top half of the draft because we keep losing. At some point, you have to look at the body of work and ask, is this guy actually good at his job? Or is he just good at talking about what he's going to do? Because there's a difference between having a plan and actually executing a plan. And I haven't seen much execution from this front office. I've seen a lot of plans. I've seen a lot of PowerPoints. I've seen a lot of meetings where they explain the vision. But I haven't seen results, and results are the only thing that matters in the NFL. Then came a question about John Mara and the ownership group and whether Darius thought they were committed to winning, and his answer was probably the most controversial part of the entire interview. He said, John Mara is a legend. His family built this franchise. They won 4 Super Bowls, but that was a long time ago. And I think sometimes the ownership group rests on that history instead of focusing on the present. They point to the past and say, look what we've accomplished. But what have you accomplished lately? What have you done in the last decade? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a lot of mediocrity. It looks like a lot of losing. It looks like a lot of excuses. And I think the ownership needs to look in the mirror and ask themselves, are we doing everything possible to win? Or are we doing just enough to keep the stadium full and the revenue flowing? Because those are two very different approaches, and Giants fans deserve an ownership group that's fully committed to winning, not just maintaining. At this point, the host tried to shift to a more positive topic by asking about Darius's personal goals for the upcoming season. But even that question led to more criticism. He said, my personal goal is to help this team win. That's always been my goal, but I'm also realistic. I'm 28 years old. I've been in the league for 6 years. And in that time, I've had 2 700-yard seasons and a bunch of mediocre seasons where I didn't get enough targets because the offense was a mess. So my goal is to finally be on a team that uses me correctly, a team that gets me the ball in space. A team that has a quarterback who can actually hit me in stride, and I hope that team is the Giants. But if it's not, if the Giants can't figure out how to use me effectively, then maybe I need to start thinking about what's best for my career, because I'm not going to waste my prime on a team that doesn't know how to win. Someone asked if Darius was suggesting that he might want to be traded, and his answer was surprisingly honest. He said, I'm not asking for a trade. I'm not demanding anything, but I'm also not naive. I know how this league works. If the Giants don't think I'm part of their future, they'll move on from me. And if I don't think the Giants are capable of winning, maybe I should explore other options. That's just the reality of being an NFL player. You have to look out for yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you. So yeah, if a contender comes calling, if a team that's actually trying to win shows interest, I'm gonna listen. I'd be stupid not to. Finally, the host asked if Darius had any regrets about being so publicly critical of his organization, and his answer summed up everything he'd been saying throughout the interview. He said, "Regrets? None. Because Giants fans deserve the truth. They've been suffering for a decade. They've been watching this team lose game after game, year after year, and they've been told to be patient. They've been told that help is on the way. They've been told that things are going to get better. Well, I'm done with the empty promises. I'm done with the optimism that never turns into results. Giants fans need to hear the truth about where this organization is. They need to know that it's not just coaching changes or quarterback changes that are needed. It's a complete culture change from top to bottom. It's ownership being willing to spend money. It's the front office being aggressive in free agency. It's players holding each other accountable. Until all of those things happen, the Giants are going to keep being mediocre, and mediocrity shouldn't be acceptable for a franchise with this much history. So no, I don't regret saying any of this. If anything, I wish I'd said it sooner." The interview ended, and I'm telling you, the reaction was immediate. ESPN analysts were debating whether Darius had gone too far. Former Giants players were weighing in with their opinions. Social media was absolutely on fire with clips and reactions. The Giants organization was probably scrambling to figure out how to respond. And here's the thing, a lot of what Darius said was true. The Giants have been bad for a long time. They haven't invested properly in the roster. They've made questionable decisions with draft picks and free agents. The offensive line has been a problem for years. These are all legitimate concerns that fans have been raising for a decade. But saying it publicly as a player, calling out the ownership, the front office, and the entire organization's commitment to winning, that's a bold move that could have major consequences. Let me know in the comments what you think about Darius's interview. Was he right to speak out? Do you agree with his criticism of the Giants organization? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell because free agency is just getting started, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more Giants drama in the coming days. Until next time, peace.